Like, have you already started?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, cool. So we were talking about just a second ago when you started CrossFit, and you said today was what?
Today is my 1,000th workout today.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
We did not plan that.
I know. It's weird how that happened out. Should have been a little earlier, but no, it's crazy. I looked at my stuff today, and I'm like, wow, go figure. Today of all days. So
if you get your workout in today, that will be your 1,000th.
1,000th, yep.
Which on average seems to take about 5 years for our members.
Yeah.
But you had a little hiatus there.
Yeah, I did. I had this past year, I mean, everybody knows me in the gym. I mean, I kind of had a little bit of a hiatus with my knee, but then building my house, I took some time off here the past 3 months or so and just been trying to knock that out.
Yeah.
I'm back in the picture, so.
I hope so. I've seen you more consistently.
Yeah.
And you kind of contracted some of the work yourself, is that right?
Yeah, so that whole deal was, we had a family member that was our builder, but he let me contract some of the stuff myself and do some of the stuff myself. So I was heavily involved in there at the end, trying to walk across the finish line. It just sucked up all my time. So that was why I was absent here most of the beginning of the summer, going straight from work to there. So,
but. And your property is beautiful, by the way.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate
He's got some land behind him that was for sale, and he told us about it. We fell in love, but
you should come out there and buy it, buddy.
Yeah, property prices aren't ideal right now.
Right.
I'm waiting for them to come down. As a matter of fact, nobody's bought anything I've checked, so it'll come down, and then maybe I'll be your neighbor.
Right. You got to wait for those interests. Wait till after the election goes, then you.
Yeah, I'm hoping the election will hopefully smooth things out.
Yeah.
So the other day, well, first of all, Ricky said, let's do some podcasts with some of our members.
Yeah.
And I thought of 1,000 people. We don't have 1,000 members, I wish, but a lot of potential members. And we were talking, and you had just mentioned your past.
Yeah.
And I knew some of it, but I didn't know all of it. And I thought it was really relatable to somebody out there that could watch this. And so tell me, what's your life like before CrossFit?
Yeah, so, I mean, man, long story short, I mean, I was active through my high school years, was a runner, played football, wrestled the whole 9 yards. Got my 20s. I was kind of cyclical in my workout routine, so 2 years on, 2 years off, that type of thing. And then it wasn't until my late 20s when I had my first child. And at that point, dad mode set in.
Start developing the dad bod.
Yes, 100%. So, I was just fell into the dad routine, just fell off touch with everything in my early 30s. And, drinking picked up a lot. Who doesn't like a few beers here and there? But I was a smoker, too. And, I put on some weight. I ballooned up quite a bit. And I think I've shown you some of those pictures of me. Yeah,
you guys will see some of these pictures. So you gained weight. You were smoking. How long were you smoking?
Let's see. I was probably a smoker for 15 years.
15 years.
Yeah. It's 15 years on and off. I wasn't like a pack a day type of guy or anything like that. I mean, maybe a pack or two a week. So I wasn't a heavy smoker, but I like to smoke when I drink and like to have 1 or 2 cigarettes at night. So it's enough that it made an impact on your life, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Walking up the stairs, I started getting in my later 30s. I'm like huffing and puffing and every little thing I'm doing. I'm like, oh my God, this is, it wasn't me anymore, right?
No,
especially when I used to, I got some pictures that I didn't show you. I mean, when I was $160 and I was running 5 miles a day, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you came from that aspect of it and you're on the extreme other side of it, it was kind of a huge fall right there. So. And
how, at your highest, what was your heaviest weight?
My heaviest weight when I started here in 2019 was 230 pounds.
And was that your heaviest you've ever been?
Yes.
230 pounds.
230 pounds.
And you're like 5'9", 5'10"?
5'10", yeah. Okay. 230, heavy smoker. Well, not heavy smoker, but I smoke daily. I was diagnosed pre-diabetic at that point in time. Yeah. High cholesterol, all around sloppy, just sloppy.
Doesn't sound very good.
Yeah, no.
And at that point, did you decide I need to make a change?
Yeah. So rolled around in 2019. I think it was Christmas, I did the typical, New Year's, like I'm going to start tomorrow, right? And I did. I started that year in 2019 from about, Christmas till June, just dieting and just kind of basic walking, nothing big. And I lost a little bit of weight, not much. Then I got serious in June. I was like, okay, something's got to happen. Something's got to change. I'm not, I'm not really doing anything. You lost your initial 5 pounds, 10 pounds or whatever, and that was it, right? So the old place is right up the road, and that was literally on my way home. I would drive by it every day. And I remember seeing all the athletes out there running. I'm like, man, those guys look like the kind of psychopaths I need to be with. The
psychopaths you need to be with.
Yeah, I mean, I saw you guys throwing bags around and, all kinds of crazy crap. And I'm like, all right, man, I need some, I remember walking in that, I thinking in my head, I need more than just me going to P Fitness or so. I don't know if I could say that.
I'm sure you can, yeah.
Whatever, but I needed more than just, because I had lost my motivation even when I was going to the gym. I lost it like when you had to drive when you're younger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you had that drive. You go in like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna kill this, and you crush it. Even when I was going to the gym, when I'd started back trying, I didn't really have that motivation, right? I'd go in and do 20 minutes of, elliptical, do a couple curls, a couple bench press. Let's roll out. And the next day,
after a while, the spark's gone.
Yeah, the spark's gone because you're not seeing results, right? You go in every day, you're like, I'm gonna do chest and back today. I'm gonna do legs tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes, you're like, I'm gonna do chest and back again. Right? You do your typical person workouts, and so that stuff.
To be clear, you haven't been to prison.
Yeah, no. No.
It's okay if you have. We've had a couple past members, that's okay.
I hope I never go. But
okay, good. Right. Prison workouts, never been to prison. Just to clarify that.
Might have been in a hold once or twice, but that's different. It was just a good party night. That's all it was. No, seriously, that's how it all panned out. And then, like I said, one day I was rolling by, saw you guys out, and I'm like, I got to do this. This is what I need. And I remember it was a Tuesday. I rolled in. I already had been thinking about it. Yeah. So I had a bag with me. I just packed a bag that day. And I remember rolling in, talked to one of your previous coaches. I said, hey, what's up? My name's Derek, da-da-da. And he's like, all right. He talked to me about it for a minute. He's like, you interested? I said, yeah. So he goes, when do you want to start? I said, well, let's do it today. He's like, well, okay, hold on. It's like, hold the brakes there, buddy. He's like, got to do an on-ramp. I'm like, well, what's an on-ramp?
You're right.
Sure, okay, whatever. He's like, well, about Thursday. I said, okay, let's do it Thursday. And then, the rest was history, man.
Hey, and so the first day you show up, what were your thoughts, anticipations? Like,
I was excited because I told him, I said, what I needed was, I can't remember how I phrased it. I said, I needed somebody to yell at me and tell me what to do. That's what I needed in my life. Yeah. I really did. I didn't want to think. I work a high stress job. I mean, I'm in management. That's all I deal with all day, and I'm tired of problems when I get off work. I don't need anything. I don't want to think about solving anything. What do I need to do? You know what I mean? Plan out this routine. I didn't need any of that. And I need somebody, A, that had that for me, B, some type of community, and C, somebody. I needed a coach.
Yeah.
It's really what it boiled down to.
Yeah.
I need somebody to push you, right?
Right.
And that's
you show up, we have the workouts ready for you, right?
Right.
We guide you and we motivate you. We don't yell at you. Even if you're Brian Shackles and you ask for us to cuss at you and yell at you, I say, I'll just cheer a little bit louder. But yeah, the coaches, right, we tell them to motivate our athletes.
Right.
But did you find that they're ultimately the ones who motivate you the most, or do you find out something else?
You know what? It turned out to be a lot of things, really. I came for that reason, right? I needed a coach. I needed that. And at first it was that, right? I had you guys telling me, hey, come on, you got him one more rep and you got, you know what I mean? You got 2 more minutes. You can do this. You know what I mean? I'm huffing and puffing, laying on the ground, dying. I'm like, I just, trying to make it through. But then I started seeing results. And then you start getting, you know what I mean? You start getting the, the recognition, you know what I mean?
Right.
Hey man, you're making progress, and I'm just like,
you're moving up on the leaderboard.
Right. And then, and then it got past where I didn't need that no more. Now I started feeling the physical part of it in myself, right? I wasn't huffing and puffing as bad. You know what? I could do one more pull up. I could do this. I could do that. I'm like, now I was like, okay, this is actually fun. I'm not dying every single time, right? And I got to admit too, the first 4 or 5 months I was here, I was still smoking.
No.
Yeah,
Closet smoker.
Yeah, no, I was.
Right, yeah.
But it was like I had whittled it down to less than a pack a week, and it was like 1 cigarette a day. Like it was still my thing that I needed to do. Right. I still hadn't quite given it up.
And when did you decide? That's it. I'm done.
November 4th, 2019.
November 4th, 2019. Was there any specific reason why you quit?
I realized that as I was progressing in here, I realized this was one of the last vestiges. It was like, okay, dude, you gotta, like, this is, you know what I mean? I was 40 years old. I'm like, I'm at halfway point in life, right? I heard the halfway buzzer go by, and I realized I was playing a sloppy second quarter. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, we call it, the quality of life down the road is, some people don't see it, especially when you're younger, but as you get older, you start seeing, shoot, what am I going to look like here in 15 years?
Right.
Being pre-diabetic, so on and so forth. And unfortunately, some people don't see that. But you did. Yeah. So thank God.
Well, I mean, like I said, I saw that. I felt it in my daily life. And then I got the doctor's results on various blood tests and things. And like, okay.
How are those results now?
Good. Yeah, I've got everything in check. It's a matter of maintaining where you're at. You know what I mean? As far as eating right and eating healthy, you can still have your, God knows I still have my splurge days, splurge weekends. I mean, you know what I mean? But it's a matter of, you have to be able to turn right back around and get back on the train, right? That would be the biggest part in my cyclical days of my 20s, right? You'd start out, you'd get going good for 6 months, then you'd fall off one weekend. And you use that as your excuse, like, okay, you know what I mean?
That's exactly how I sound. Forget it. It's over.
Right. It's all done. I don't care.
Yeah, I think that with CrossFit, there's not one thing that keeps you coming back, and that's the nice thing.
Yeah.
So if it's the coach is not like, all right, the coach hasn't really been pushing me as hard as I want, maybe it's like, but I have a group of friends that I show up to and see.
Yeah. So that was the other thing I was getting to, and I started rambling on other things there. But
that's what we do.
The other hidden aspect that I found here, which turned out to be one of the best things about this, was the community and the people. And literally every new person I've ever talked to that's come in here as me trying to be an ambassador for this place, because it did such good things in my life. That was one of the things I strived to do. I'm like, look, I know you're here for this and that, but I'm telling you what, you'll find this bonus thing. You get this other family that's second to none. I mean, everybody here's been awesome, and I've had a lot of great memories with everybody throughout the years here. In the gym and out of the gym, made a lot of good friends. So.
Yeah, and I've seen this play out a lot, and some of the hardest things that have happened for us is someone like you who just got a job relocating out of town.
Right.
And those are always tough, and they get so emotional because they've built another family.
Yeah.
And that community aspect is something we cannot advertise. I mean, we can advertise we have a great community. A lot of gyms do it, CrossFit gyms specifically, but you don't know until you've been immersed in it, and it's completely different than what we could even explain. And you're doing a good job, but there's just so much to it.
There is. There really was. When I started realizing I was, you start, I don't know, everybody's nice to you, and then everybody starts complimenting, your progress, and then you start getting to know people because you're coming to the same class, right? Mm-hmm. So you start developing friendships. Then you start realizing, like, I'm chasing certain rabbits in class, right?
Yeah.
And you think to yourself in the beginning days, you're like, I'm never cool enough to hang out with those people. Those guys are super. Then you realize they're just other people, right? And you're like, and then they start complimenting you because you caught them and beat them on a workout or something, or whatever. And then you're like, they're just people like me and you, right? And it's weird how you kind of sometimes you can kind of revert back to your high school days of how, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not cool enough to, you know what I mean? Or whatever, and then you're like, dude, we're all grown folks here, and this is an awesome place that everybody loves. Everybody, I don't know. CrossFit is like a giant hug from the world. It really is. You come here days, you're completely stressed out. You're completely everything. This is literally my on-off switch from work to home, and it completely stabilizes me, and and it's
I
awesome.
like what you're saying. I found that we as in all our members, I feel like I'm a member as well. I work out with you guys.
Oh yeah, 100%.
We fall into different categories, and for a while there, I wanted to be a great athlete. I wanted to compete, and that drove me. Being pushed side by side with other athletes. And then as I get older, I'm like, that's less important to me. But there's still things keeping me here. And that goes for everybody. You don't have to be a great athlete to belong.
Yeah.
People will cheer you on, whether you're first or last. They're here to support you. They're here for your emotional needs, coaches and members alike.
Yeah.
And so I like seeing, I can't pinpoint them, but there's a dozen different categories that people fall in, no matter where you are in your life. You might be 300 plus pounds and you just need severe help. You might be new to fitness, and you might be rail thin and you're not carrying enough muscle.
Sure.
Right. And then, there's so many different avenues people fall in. I can relate to yours being like more on the athletic side, right? But we have plenty of different examples of different categories people fall into, and they're if you guys follow our podcast as we hopefully continue this, you'll see like everyone's different stories and how they'll be completely different, yet we belong in the same roof. You know what I mean? And that's cool. And you see them, you cheer on those people every day.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And like I say, your story is kind of dynamic and changes as you go, right? Because
mic check.
Like you were just talking about there, you started out at the beginning, and I started at the beginning with one goal, and then as I progressed, and then I started, it turned into, now I'm super competitive, and this is where I'm at now, and I wanted to reach the peak zenith, which I feel like I did, and got to a certain spot. But then, we're all human. We all get knocked off of our block a little bit, sometimes by life, right? Me was a perfect example this past year. And now I've got different goals, right? I'm trying to get back to where I was. I wasn't quite, at the peak of where I was a couple years ago, but the important part is I'm still here. I'm still, you know what I mean? I'm still making the, but it's not as much of a driving force as it was, 2 years ago, as far as to be like this super, I'm going to go to the games. It's happening. I swear to God. No. Like that.
If I'd only started this when I was younger.
Right. But and along with saying that too, when I was talking about, as your story changes and as things happen and life happens, going back to that, having the family here and having the people that care, and they really do, and I mean this genuinely. I'm not just saying this because I'm staying here on camera or whatever. We all go through stuff, right, where we're like, I have, where I'm like, you're down and out, I don't want to come, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. Or you're bumming or whatever. And literally,
you don't go through that, then you're different,
right?
Because everyone goes through that,
right? Because you're not a perfect stellar athlete your whole life. You know what I mean? Like you're not. That's not. You know what I mean? And I've literally gotten texts from both, like you, all the other coaches, Chad, Jessica, Ricky. I've gotten texts from all my friends here. Have all texted me on times like just checking in on me. Hey, where you at? How you doing? You know what I mean? And sometimes I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? I'm working or whatever, and I just, life's busy right now. And other times I really needed that. Yeah. Like it really, you know what I mean? Because I was not I was depressed or hurting. It's just like, you know what I mean? You kind of get in that rut again, right? And you kind of need a little bit of a mental slapping.
Kind of helps snap you out of it.
Yeah, yes, because you kind of get stuck in it, and it's and I've never gotten out of P Fitness or a whatever, you know what I'm saying?
And
that's what was one of the biggest freaking aspects of this place is the community and the family, and how you might, that's what's kept me, you know what I mean? Like it brings you back in.
It brings you back in.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't, like I said, it brings you out of your rut on your bound town times in life, right?
I agree. And that's one thing we strive for is like, we're not a big, most CrossFit gyms aren't big CrossFit gyms. You know, some of them range from, make sure this is straight. Some of them range from 50 to 200.
Sure.
If you're anything over 200, you're really large. But even at 200, 250, everybody. Right. And when they're missing, you either have a system in your computer that says, hey, this person's missing, or you have
seen them in a while.
We see weekly coaches meetings, and you're like, hey, have you seen this person? Or your members mention it.
Right.
And then because it is a community, like I haven't seen Derek in like a week or two. Has anyone seen him? No, I haven't seen him. We reach out.
Yeah.
Why? Because we want your money? No. I mean, because we care.
Right.
Because sometimes you didn't cancel your membership. You're not coming. The model for some gyms are, we want as many people signed up as possible, and we hope none of them show up. And that's just the truth. If you look at Planet Fitness,
sure.
I can only imagine how many members they have. And if they all showed up, like for whatever hour they normally train on a specific day, if all of them showed up, it wouldn't work.
Right.
Toilets would be clogged. There would be no machines.
Right.
And we're different here. We're service-based, and we want you here because we care about your progress.
Right.
And we care about you as a person too.
Well, and it shows. I mean, it's, again, I can't stress it enough. I mean, I don't know how many times I've literally gotten texts from every one of you guys, not even on checking in on me on days that I haven't been here, but like after comps or after a bad performance or after something. Like, I've literally gotten stuff from all you guys as well. Literally like, hey man, don't worry about this, or whatever, and it's not even a funk that I'm in of, you know what I mean? It's just like you're down because you didn't, you know what I mean? You didn't perform as an athlete like you thought you were going to. And you
like on a specific day, you're saying?
Yeah, on different, you know what I mean? Like competitions I've had it on days where you know what I mean? Where I've tried to, bust a new max out and I couldn't, and I was failing because of my technique or whatever, you know what I mean? And I've the words of encouragement just in that aspect, you know? It's like, that's...
And with all that said, do you feel like you've made you think you've made a lifestyle change? Do you see yourself being fit, and healthy the rest of your life?
Yes. Yeah. I don't see myself ever going back to being the way I was, because I want to live longer. Right?
Yeah.
I want to enjoy my family. I want to be able to walk up a mountain and not die, or heck, climb a ladder to the top of my house, whatever, and not be huffing and puffing. And I think it's a lifestyle change that, has been so far.
Yeah. And that kind of leads me to another point. As you said that, I started thinking, I called it the Wild Wild West when we first started CrossFit. I was 27. I was like gung ho, let's do CrossFit. And it was the Wild Wild West. We just go as hard as you can.
Right.
Do what you can, be the best athlete possible. And as we've evolved and I've learned and I've gotten older, we've kind of shifted a little bit. We still want you to be the best version of yourself, and we're going to get you there. But we're also like, let's dial this back, because we have the rest of our lives to get in shape.
Yeah.
And why be in a hurry to get in the best shape of your life for 3 months when you can spend the rest of your life just staying in shape?
Right. Exactly.
And burnout happens when you just go all out, crash diets, crash kind of exercises, those exercise routines. The shorter something takes, in my experience, whether it's a diet or some kind of a routine where you 6-pack abs and what, the shorter it takes, the shorter term the results are.
Yeah.
And look, every diet, low carb diet, all right, great, you lost 30 pounds.
Right.
What's going to happen when you get off the low carb? So we've kind of made everything here where we've dialed some things back. It's still intense. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But that slower progression, that slower, that mindset that it's going to take a year to start getting in shape.
Yeah.
And in reality, you get in shape way faster, but that's the mindset. And the results are longer. I always say, if you want to make a change that you're going to do for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And if you don't see yourself doing it for the rest of your life, probably it's not going to stick. Maybe don't do it. If you're unsure, give it a test run. But if you know for a fact, like this is something I'm going to go no carb. Am I going to do that for the rest of my life?
No, it's not realistic.
No. And
that's one of the biggest things. It's like, I know that's been one of my things too. Like I'm kind of an all out and go person. Like if I can't give it my all, you know what I mean? I tend to, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I got you on the first day you came back for a while. You're out there with the RX way. I said, Derek, come here. I was like, what if we just, tone that down a little bit? Yeah. And you're like, you sure? I'm like, do you want to come back tomorrow? Do you want to come back tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm glad you did, because my idiot, my competitive, that mindset, takes over, and it's like, I want to, and I died that day, and I modified it.
Did you modify it? Yeah.
But I still had the mindset of where I was when I was at my zenith a year ago or whatever, before my injury and before this little hiatus I had to take for my house or whatnot, and I have to realize that I'm not there, right? Which was humbling, very much so. But one of the big things too for me, like I was talking about, going back to the all out or nothing deal, is understanding that you can be a person, an athlete, and you can be in moderation and a little bit. How do I want to say it? Like, you don't have to be all out, super carb diet, super workout 6 days a week. I mean, you can do a 4-day work week, 5-day workout week, still have a beer or two on the weekend, and still, it's moderation, a little yin and yang on both. Right. You know what I'm saying? And understanding that, because that's a huge, you can get burnt out one way or the other.
Yeah, right? Yeah, you can get burnt out by not enjoying your life. Like, yes. Hey,
Right, you're trying to be so disciplined on this one aspect of your life. You can go for 6 months hardcore discipline, and then when you finally have your burnout moment or whatever, you crash or you falter, then it's like hardcore the other way, right? Yeah. It's like it's finding that medium in between. Like, guys, be happy where you're at and stay healthy. Right?
And that's like, is it sustainable for the rest of your life?
Right.
If you say yes, great, go for it.
Right.
If you and I'm not against experimenting. I've seen people go on no carb diets, and then 100%. they love it and they stick with it.
No, 100%. I agreed. I mean, you can. I mean, you got that drive and more power to you. I just know in my personal aspect, right? Yeah. Learning to be okay with, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be all out or nothing type situation. I don't have to be that way all the freaking time. You know what I'm saying? It's great if you want to be that way for a year or two and kind of attain something or whatever, but,
I had a past member who still pops in to buy drinks, Jason Coffee. I met him at a gas station. This is funny. Fit It. If you want to throw us a couple of sponsorship dollars, delicious. Jason Coffee was at a gas station, and I had a 12-pack of beer and a Casey's pizza. And he was behind me in line, and he said, "Hey, excuse me, like, you look like you're in really good shape." I was like, "Oh, thanks." He's like, "How do you do that, drinking beer and eating pizza?"
Right.
And I don't even remember what my answer was. It was something along the lines of, well, I train 6 days a week.
Right.
And I'm still having fun. I'm still eating some trash. I'm not eating it every day.
Yeah.
But, I didn't want to go home and eat grilled chicken, broccoli, and rice. Yeah. And I felt like I earned it.
Yeah.
Where you get caught up is when that becomes a little bit much. And so, but I enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, see, I remember that used to always be my mindset in my younger life. You know what I mean? There's all or nothing. You had to super diet, had hard, and yes, there is a point in life where that's needed because you're trying to attain something, right? Or whatever. You know what I mean? You're trying to go to the games or be the whatever. You know what I mean?
I've seen the.
I remember like the first time I ever came here, and like, I remember being, I thought, I was like, man, this guy's super in shape, And I remember the first time you talking about how you like your bourbon. I'm like, this guy drinks bourbon? I was like, no way. Like, me and him might be buddies because I kind of like bourbon too secretly, but should I like it? I'm supposed to be an athlete.
Yeah, you can like bourbon, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure you like bourbon.
I think these shelves are put up with some bourbon in there. No, I'm just kidding.
No, that's funny you say that because Derek was very helpful when we moved here and helped me build some stuff out. And do you still have that scar on your eye?
I think so, yeah, right here.
Yeah. So we had a late night. Was it when we were scraping the floors, had field turf, and they had a ton of glue.
Yeah.
Ton of glue. And so we were scraping it by hand.
Yep.
And
covered in water, everything slippery.
Oh, yeah. It was nasty. We found out we did it wrong the whole time. And let's get to that. But, we're miserable. We're working our asses off. So we went to Casey's right down the street and got some beer. And, probably 3 beers in.
Beer me.
He tells me to beer him, and I chuck underhanded a beer, and it just happened to be a perfect spiral, and it had some condensation on it.
Yep.
And what happened?
I went to catch it, and it just went right through my hands. It goes punk, and I went black for a minute. I'm like, oh God, dang, that really hurt. I'm like,
split his eye right open.
And I remember coming to and looking at your face, and you're like, bro. I'm like, what's up? You're like, you split the hell out of your face. No, I'm good. And then like, yeah. 2 or 3 minutes later, I'm looking at the blood, and I'm looking at them, I'm getting all wheezy. I'm like, I gotta sit down. I'm a little lightheaded, buddy.
Yeah. See, we gotta have a little bit of fun.
Yeah, but good memories, right?
Later we found out that one of our clients said, "Why didn't you tell us? I have a scraper," and he came with his machine.
Right.
like nothing.
Right.
We probably put in
I remember that.
hours and hours of work that would have taken that machine 10 minutes. It was ridiculous.
Well, we did it the hard way, the CrossFit
we
way,
did it
right?
the hard way. But there's memories out of it, right?
Yeah, no, we had a good time.
Well, that's another aspect is like if you're a business owner and you want more business, join a CrossFit gym. I tell that to everybody, and I'll bring them all in to the podcast to prove it. Painter, barber, real estate agent, you name it. Even if you don't like fitness, join a CrossFit gym, and your business will explode. You know, be part of the community and all that stuff. Obviously, I hope that you want to better your health, but kind of like a church. You know, there's a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
the demographics there, and so Derek. I know you work in the construction field. Don't want to speak for you.
Yeah, controls, but I'm in the management side.
But he's a jack of all trades, and he has every tool imaginable. I don't even go to Home Depot anymore. I just drive to his house.
Call me.
I call him. Derek, drop this off. So Chase is one of our clients as a painter, young kid, started his own business. I met him at a sauna, and he's like, my wife had a CrossFit shirt on. We were both in there together.
Yeah, I remember you telling me a story about that. Yeah.
He said, you guys do CrossFit? And we got to talking, 20 minutes later, about to pass out in the sauna. And I said, if you want to try, he wanted to try CrossFit. I was like, you'll see, like, the fitness will be the plus at first, and then after that will be the community.
Yeah.
And now he paints just about everyone's house.
Right.
And he's busy because of it. And, Brad Harris, the real estate agent, right? Yep. I can't count on two hands how many people he's sold a house to here and helped them out.
Sure, yeah.
I hope I'm not exaggerating. But yeah, no, this has been quite the journey for me for 13 years, and you've been part of it for 5. So you kind of got there
in the middle,
in the very end of the wild west, and then saw like the growing pains of running a gym and being part of a community. So, I want to thank you for your time. Anything else you want to mention before? Because I know Ricky can just cut and paste and move this around, and so anything you want to? Anything you want to add?
I mean, I don't know, man. No, I enjoy this place, and like I said, I've been here 5 years, and I plan to be a lifer, so I ain't going anywhere.
Heck yeah!
And I just built a house right up the road, so I definitely ain't going nowhere unless you move across the freaking state or something.
All right, hell yeah!
So, no, I love this place, and I appreciate you asking me come in and have a chat with you.
Oh yeah, appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming out.